हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। दिस इज सीए राखी अग्रवाल। आज का हमारा टॉपिक है कंसोलिडेशन ऑफ अकाउंट्स पार्ट 9। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट आवर टॉपिक। टुडेज डिस्कशन इज रिलेटेड टू डिफर्ड टैक्सेशन इन कंसोलिडेशन। इन कंसोलिडेशन, deferred tax arises when adjustment made in consolidated financial statement creates a temporary difference between the carrying amount of an assets and liabilities in CFS and its tax base. When deferred tax arises, in general term, deferred tax arises when there is a temporary difference between the carrying amount of an assets or liabilities and its tax base. Now, in what Ind AS 12 says, Ind AS 12 deals with deferred taxation. It says that if there is a temporary difference between the carrying amount of an assets and its tax base, then whether a deferred tax liability arise or deferred tax asset is arising. What is a carrying amount as per Ind AS 12? Carrying amount is the book value of an assets and liabilities as we record in the financial statement. And what is tax base? Tax base is amount as per Income Tax Act. But today's discussion is related to how we apply deferred taxation in consolidation. The concept comes from Ind AS 12, which works together with Ind AS 110. So deferred tax in consolidation arises because consolidation adjustment change accounting profits but do not change taxable profit, which creates a temporary difference. Some of the adjustments due to which accounting profits change but income tax profits are not going to change, and due to that temporary difference arises that creates a deferred tax assets or liability consolidation. What is tax base? Tax base is not defined in Ind AS 110, but the concept of tax base is defined in Ind AS 12. In consolidation under Ind AS 110, we apply that Ind AS 12 to compute deferred tax on consolidation adjustment. So what is the definition of tax base? Tax base is the amount attributed to an asset or liabilities for tax purpose. The amount on which we calculate the tax is the tax base, which is attributed to an assets or liabilities for tax purpose only. It represents the value that tax authority allow when calculating tax profits in future. Tax base of an assets, how we will calculate tax on assets? Tax base of an assets is the amount that will be deductible for tax purpose against future taxable benefits from the asset. In this case, the carrying amount becomes 100, and after charging depreciation 20, which is already claimed, tax base become 80. For the book, asset value is 100, and as per the income tax, the value of the asset is 80, which creates a temporary difference of 20, because 100 is as per the books of accounts and these 80 is as per Income Tax Act. The value of the assets as per Income Tax Act or charging depreciation, which creates a temporary difference of 20. Tax base of a liability is the carrying amount minus any amount deductible for tax in the future. For example, we had created provisions in the books of rupees 50. Deduction allowed only when paid. We had created a provision for future that is recorded in the books not yet paid, but we had created a provision. As per Income Tax Act, they will allow deduction only when it is actually paid. So it creates a temporary difference, because as per books our profit is understated. As per Income Tax Act, our profits are overstated. We pay tax as per Income Tax Act, which creates a temporary difference. Now, tax base in consolidated adjustments in consolidated financial statement, carrying amount of an asset change due to elimination of intra-group transactions. So whenever intra-group profits are eliminated, carrying amount of assets are also changes, but tax base remain unchanged. Due to that, it creates a difference, and for that this difference creates a deferred tax. Let's take an example in case of inventory, how it creates a temporary difference. Inventory in subsidiary books is 120. Unrealized profits eliminated in CFS is 20. Carrying amount in CFS is 100. Tax base as per authorities view is 120. Now it's created a temporary difference because inventories in subsidiary books is 120 and unrealized profit is eliminated, that is 20. Now the carrying amount in CFS becomes 100, but tax base remains unchanged, that is 120. So it's created a temporary difference, 120 minus 120. This creates a deferred tax asset. Why deferred tax assets? Because in this case carrying amount is less than tax. We have to take the credit of that extra paid tax in future. So it's created deferred tax asset. So what is the formula of temporary difference? That is carrying amount minus tax base. What is the formula of deferred tax? Temporary difference into tax rate. Now why deferred tax arises in consolidation? Why it arises? When companies prepare standalone financial statement, all the profits, intra-group sale, intra-group purchase, purchase, all the adjustments are made, intergroup profits are recorded, and tax is already we had paid as per our individual financial state. But in consolidation, what happened when we merge all the financials of parent companies and the subsidiaries, then all the intergroup profits, all the intergroup adjustments are eliminated. Assets may be reduced to cost to group if it is lying in the books. Since tax authority do not recognize consolidation adjustments, tax paid earlier creates a temporary timing difference. Therefore, deferred tax asset or deferred tax liability must be recognized. Common situation when deferred tax appears in consolidation, that is unrealized profits in inventory. Suppose for example, parent sell goods to subsidiary with profits. Some inventory remain unsold at the year end. That is the unrealized profits in inventory. Who recognize the profit? Parent. NCI is not affected on that because in subsidiaries profits, parent is having a shareholding, but in parent's profit, subsidiary do not have any holding. And if stock is lying in the subsidiary books at the year end, so closing inventory is to be eliminated from subsidiaries books and profit is eliminated from parent's book. Adjustments, profit eliminated when we prepare CFS in parent's book, inventory is reduced from subsidiary book. Tax authority already taxed the profit, so group recognize a deferred tax asset. We had paid extra tax on that, so it creates a deferred tax asset. Intra-group sale of fixed assets, that is PPE. When an asset is sold within the group, profit on sale is eliminated by the parent company, asset value is reduced, depreciation difference arises, and these adjustments create temporary difference leading to a deferred tax. Now basic rules in consolidation: adjustment type, that is profit eliminated. If profit is eliminated, profit is reduced from group, then deferred tax arises. If expenses is reduced from group, then deferred tax liability arises. Profit eliminated, asset arises, deferred tax asset. Expenses eliminated, deferred tax liabilities arise. Most consolidated adjustments create DTA because profits are removed. Before consolidation, we had paid tax, but if the stock remain lying in the books, profit we had paid, we had to reduce at the time of consolidation. That profit is to be eliminated. For that, we have to create a deferred tax asset because we had overpaid the tax on the extra profit which we had eliminated from the consolidation. And expense eliminated means we reduce the profit from consolidated adjustments. We have to pay extra profit for that because expenses अगर कम होगा तो profit बढ़ जाएगा. In that case, our liability arises, so deferred tax liability will arise. Profit include in the closing inventory. Suppose for example, profit included in closing inventory becomes 20 lakh. Tax rate is 30, so it creates a, because it is profit and we have to eliminate that profit is lying in the closing inventory. We have to eliminate that, and if profit is eliminated, then deferred tax asset will arise. So deferred tax asset may become 6 lakhs. Journal entry becomes deferred tax asset account debit to tax expense. Now how it impacted on parent and NCI? If it is an upstream transaction, when subsidiary selling goods to the parent, then who will recognize profits? Subsidiary. In subsidiary's profit, parent is also liable and NCI is also liable. Deferred tax impact goes both to parent and NCI in case of upstream transaction when subsidiary sell goods to the parent. And in case if the parent sell goods to the subsidiary, that is the downstream transaction, deferred tax impact goes only to the parent. It affects only parent balance sheet. Thanking you for watching my video. If you like, please share, subscribe my channel.